Hello, everyone.
Hello there.
Lately, through a few conversations that I've had, I became aware of a theme that I've picked up on numerous occasions. Um, the the conversations of the last couple of weeks only brought it to the fore, but the whole issue of a calling and living your calling, the calling that God.
The purpose that God has for your life.
Exactly. What is your purpose? And to find God's purpose for your life. And why I'm thinking of this, or what came out of the conversations, is the idea that that purpose is almost a blueprint for your life. And when
But we don't have insight into it.
we don't have insight. It's almost as if God has this blueprint in a safe somewhere. And if we can find, if we can guess, if we can discover what the blueprint is, what is the purpose of my life, then I'll have a fulfilled life. But it is there on God's side, and somehow it has to break through into our lives. And often people are almost frantic as to how do I find the purpose of my life.
Yeah. And it also then, of course, if you don't find it, if you go through life without really knowing God's purpose for you, then there's a feeling of that your life was wasted, that you didn't get to be what God wanted you to be, or all that God wanted you to
Or
be,
intended, yeah.
for you to be. So, and there's also this feeling, I think, and there's lots of viewpoints, but I think where we either feel that our lives are predetermined, like
Yes.
there's some definite day and date and all of those things that will happen, or I think the way that we feel and what we've discovered along the way is that it's much more of a
Collaboration.
collaboration with God, where our lives open up, where it's a creation day by day, with our decisions, with our with God, almost putting down signs and little, like you get to learn your dialect with God, and you sort of get to know which is the next step, although you don't have the bigger picture or the purpose, like the thing where that this is going to. And I don't even think God has, because I don't think it's a this huge one of happening that your life culminates into.
Exactly.
It's an open-ended invitation from God to participate in becoming everything that you can be, and to the extent that your life allows you.
Yes.
I don't think God expects of us to become saints, or it's the lives are so very complicated in there. And I think there may be people that are doing their utmost, and now their lives may never count in history books,
Yes.
that
Yes.
has completely fulfilled everything that they could possibly have done in their life.
Yes. Because I think the larger aim of God, the larger longing of God, I love the word longing more than purpose.
What is God longing for us?
What is God hoping for us? What is God longing for us? What God is longing for us is that we will be alive and to live and experience this life with us. That is God's longing.
But then, on the other hand, that is not to say that people don't, from a young age, know their purpose, like they have insight in the blueprint, or they feel strongly that they know what God, and it often has to do with God's work. talking about a calling especially,
Yes.
it's often has to do about that. And I think your story can illustrate that very nicely.
Mm.
And then maybe we can carry on this conversation next week because
Because you don't have a calling.
I literally don't have a calling like that. I do not.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it might be an interesting contrast to see that my life is also worth something.
I'm waiting for next week. I can't wait.
But
Okay.
tell us your story.
Okay. So I felt called to ministry, to become a dominee from a very young age. In grade 3, I already wrote an essay on I want to become a dominee. And I never doubted that. It felt right up my alley, the way the things that interested me, my relationship with God, everything was fine. And so I didn't even go to a counselor or anything to help me decide on subjects and the course or whatever. I was going to study to become a dominee. So after school, I went and I loved the books and university and all of that, the setting. But for some reason, something was off. I often said it felt like a big puzzle and there are pieces missing. And I can't put my finger on it as to what exactly that is. And it took me right through university and a lot of study and national service and then full-time ministry in a congregation to finally find out that my calling doesn't fit exactly on the Dutch Reformed template.
Yeah, because that's all you knew.
That's all that I knew.
Yeah, and so that was what you felt your calling must lead you to.
And that is a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, and then also I think looking at examples from the Bible and feeling that you should just get over yourself because Moses
Complained, and
he didn't want his
Jeremiah
calling.
complained.
None of them wanted their calling, so maybe it's just you.
Yes. But then, as I read up and got exposed to a wider context and so on, I discovered the contemplative spirituality and spiritual direction. And the other thing, which was almost like a sideline but absolutely intertwined, is the importance of manual labor. Doing
And
crafts.
and working with your hands.
Exactly.
And that was never in the picture when you got your calling, when you felt that.
No.
So, in effect, I think one can say that we may have a calling, feel that we have a calling, and then we grow into, I think, something of what our spirit really want, what we are made to be busy with, that really fulfills us, makes us alive, fully alive, and then God working with us.
Yes, because I want to go as far, God gently guiding us to find our loves.
Yeah, especially when we are searching.
Yes.
Especially when we feel something is not, there's some misalignment.
Yes.
It's not exactly like you said. It's like a radio station that's not tuned well. There's something that you can't pick it up, and it's a search for where you fit exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And knowing when that happens.
Yes, there's just a deep knowing. It's almost like slotting into something. But I think just by living our lives sensitive to God guiding us into enjoying things, into feeling alive when we're busy with something. That is our cue.
And that's almost, that is God's purpose. I mean,
Yes.
we could rather talk about God's purpose with us than our purpose, than the purpose that God's put on us.
Yes.
It's more like God has a purpose for us to be fully what we can be.
Exactly.
And for us to allow that, to open up to that.
Yes.
Do we
Yes.
still have something to say for next week? Or have we totally
Well,
exhausted the
you said
subject?
we need something for, or there's something to be discussed next week, and
Yes.
I trust your instinct. I definitely think we can expand.
Yes, let's talk about it further next week.
But we'd love feedback to hear your story and maybe your journey. But until next week, keep well.
Bye-bye, everyone.